How did you really kind of go about ensuring that you had a little bit of time to yourself to recharge during that time as well? Because it's real easy for ADs to just work straight through that break because of the various holiday tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I think most do. And we talked a little bit earlier about maybe having an episode with principal and athletic director in terms of like that communication and between the two and setting the expectations. And I think that's an important thing to do early on as an AD, to carve out that time to not set the expectation that you're there for everything. Are there people that you can lean on to come in and help you out and supervise? Should you be, going away over that break? You're entitled to it as well, right? ADs tend to be the only people in the building who are kind of expected to work over vacations a lot of times, which is just isn't fair. So again, if my wife was listening, she'd probably say I did a terrible job at balancing that like home and work life. Um, but my advice as an older guy now would be figure it out early and make sure people understand how important it is for you to also have your family time.
I would agree with you, and I think my wife would probably agree with your wife as well, in terms of not being the best of stepping away, but looking back on it, and as I got later in my career, I did a better job of it. Um, Allowing yourself to designate other people to be the supervisor, and you can have that family time and step away, because you can't be there for everything or you're going to burn out really quickly because you've got stuff going on during the holiday seasons. Okay, well, yeah, I just got to be there for the holidays. Then you got stuff going on during spring break. Yeah, I got to be here just for spring break. Before you know it, you hit summer and there's going to be various things taking place during summer. We're like, well, I just got to be here for that. You've never had the chance to get away and recharge yourself, which we had an episode previously talking about the importance of taking care of you and making sure that you have that time away to recharge, regroup, and not burn out quickly because of it. I think it is something you definitely have to think about, especially when you're going into the winter sports season because you have those holiday breaks. How are you going to manage that? Who are you going to designate as the point of contact for particular days? Can you have a rotating schedule where, maybe one day it's the principal's in charge and they're on campus? If anything comes up, here's who you're going to contact, or other staff members that are going to be designated that point person for particular days, and communicating that in advance. I think that's an important element as you prepare for these winter sports.
I would agree. And we've said this before too, I think about like athletic trainer. Um, if you spread out all these things over things like breaks, hey, this team's coming in for practice at 8 a.m. This team's coming in at noon. I've got games at 7 p.m. still home on campus. Like, how is that fair to maybe an athletic trainer? Is there an expectation that they're there from 8 a.m. till 9 at night when normally they don't have to come in until lunchtime or whatever their normal like starting time is when they've got after school activities? So there's another group of people that ADs, as they plan this kind of stuff out, have to be cognizant of as well.
Absolutely. And that's a great point. I know from my personal experience, we came across that exact scenario where you would have teams who are like, hey, I'm just going to hammer out practices in the morning, give them the day. And then there was teams that were playing that night or somebody coming in midday because we want to let the kids sleep in, etc. So then what we would do is we basically would set athletic training hours and
Yeah.
then make sure that it was communicated to coaches. We're not saying you can't go outside of these times, but if you are, your emergency action plan is your Bible. You need to make sure that you know that like the back of your hand, because you're not going to have athletic training coverage because these are the designated hours. And we'd have some coaches that were like, okay, I understand the emergency action plan. I want to make sure that I'm providing these times for my kids. This is what we're going to do. I had other coaches that were out of an abundance of caution. They'd be like, nope, we're going to go during the times when the trainers are here. So
Yeah.
it certainly is something that you got to communicate. And that's a very important topic that you have to have buttoned up as you go into these winter sports seasons.